have a citrine ring with actually some small diamonds. We're going to be working with sterling silver today. We already know what the metal is. It's stamped, and in another episode, we're going to show you how to test the metal that you have. But that is in the alloying part. That's going to be in another time. This segment, we know what our metal is. We can, if you know by this point, you ought to be able to tell what silver kind of looks or feels like. And then when it's a good stamp and you assess the piece, you say, yeah, that is what they say it is. Then you don't have to do the testing of the metal part. But there'll come a time when you need to learn that, and we'll showcase that as well. So, in this piece, what we have left is 2 amethysts and a peridot. This ring, we have a citrine. Actually, it's pretty good shape, and we have some small diamonds on the side. We're going to take the easy one first. Keep in mind now, 92.5% pure silver means the silver is going to bend actually easier than 14 karat or 18 karat gold. So when you're pulling the prong back and removing that prong, expect it to move faster, easier, and quicker than if you were working with a gold alloy. Remember, we're going to try to remove the stone without breaking it, because even though the ring may be scrap, the stones may be still usable. So then I use the sharp edge of the tool, again, something as simple as a toenail or fingernail clipper can work. And there we go. There we have it. It is that easy. Now, luckily, after the stone's set, it doesn't fall out as easy, but removing and pulling back the prongs can be a very simple and quick duty. It would probably be much quicker and easier, and really the only way to do it would be to pull the prong back. But because these are set with a bezel, and a bezel is a rim of metal that goes around the entire stone versus a prong that goes only over a very small part of the stone. So being bezel set, to remove these in the safe way would be a laborious and time-consuming method of cutting the bezel off or cutting the bezel back. The only time you can cut the bezel back without damaging the stone is if it's a diamond. And in the case of sterling silver, it's not set with a diamond too often. Other than that, if you're trying to pull the bezel back and using the silicon carbide disc that grinds it back, you will scratch whatever stone, including ruby and sapphire, that you're trying to remove. I hold this down right against the wood. Remember, I only have 2 hands. You have no idea how many times I wish I had 3. Many times, though, I've called in the nearest other person to be that third hand. Now, take a hammer of your choice. Now, if you use a plastic-ended hammer or your rawhide mallet, you do not get as solid of a thump in hitting it, and that may be what you want. But again, in my case, I'm not as concerned about the outcome of the damage to the stone, so I'm just going to go for the good old metal mallet here. I have my stone, and what I want to do, I want to hit it first lighter than harder, because I can always hit harder, but I can't back up and hit lighter if I overdid it. So if you, again, want to try to preserve the stone, willing to take a little bit of a gamble, start off lighter. Again, the next hit can always make it harder. But most of the times, and many times in sterling silver, being that malleable, it comes right out with the first thump. So let's give it a go. Let's see how big that bezel is around the edge of that stone. Now, that simple. That's 2 amethysts down, 1 peridot to go. Yeah. Now, wasn't that neat? Neat little trick. And just have the confidence to do it. Now, it only works best with sterling silver, but it will work with other metals. The key being, you look and see how small or how large the area of the bezel covers the stone. If the bezel covers a lot of the stone, then you're really taking a much greater risk, because that means a lot more metal has to peel back when you apply that tap of pressure. So I've examined these, and I think that with one tap on each of these, they're going to be removed. Took an extra little tap because I missed just a little on the first one, but there it is, and our stone is not broken. So there you go. If you want to reuse those stones or give them to a friend or neighbor to mess with, or make earrings out of the amethyst or something else with them, that you have them intact to be able to use in the future. And here now we have our mounting that is free and clear to be used for its future use. These diamonds, not very valuable. They were set in silver to start with, so I'm going to consider using the method of punching them out from behind. Now, so what we do, we go to look at the inside of the ring and see if it's an option. As you can see, look at this. This ring has actually a really nice gallery on the inside and doesn't allow a lot of availability for your tool to be able to fit in the openings that would be behind the diamond. So we're going to have to go with method number 2, which is a often used method for many, many diamonds. We have the diamonds, we have those little tiny prongs on the side, and that's what we want to take the wheel, and I'll do it without the wheel going because I'm just showing you. And we're going to bring it down, and we're going to bring it down against one of those prongs. Remember, we're going to be able to remove and grind and cut back that prong without hurting that diamond. With the magnification, I can see where I'm cutting sometimes. And I'll show you in just a moment what we're doing. You can see any dust is not the diamond. It is the wheel and the silver that you see. At this point, I take my tool that, if it doesn't have a sharp point on it, you want to make one, and you go up underneath the edge of the stone and see if you can't pop it out. Now, I do this usually over a cardboard box or something with a lip. Yeah, look at those nice little jewels. Wouldn't you like your little tray to have some of those crystals? And you again, let's see, I think we have the edge of it up. And you now see we have an empty place where there was a diamond. What you want to do, continue that process through every stone until you're comfortable that you've removed the one, as many as you want. Now, there's going to be times when the diamonds are quality-wise so small that it may not be worth it to you. But remember, if you are melting this down for use in another piece, you are going to want to remove those stones no matter what, or they're going to wind up in your molten metal. Exciting place we're at now. As you can see, we have removed our stones, and in this case, a really nice citrine we still have, a couple of matched pair of amethysts, a peridot, and 6 smaller diamonds. Now, you can go ahead at that point with those stones and clean them up and ready them for another project. But we're talking about what we're doing with the metal. And we showed you the 2 different ways in removing the stones. One, pulling the prongs back. The other, sawing the prongs back. And really kind of the other method, and one you won't normally see unconventionally, punching them out. And now you have the choice of what you're going to do with the metal, which is send it to the refiner for money, or, remember, it was easy. Many of you, this does not take a goldsmith or jeweler to do, especially if you're not considering keeping the stones. So the hobbyist, right down your alley as well. The next step, to the smelter or to the crucible. You decide. That'll be for the next episode.